Good morning and welcome back to Vlogmas day 7, 8, 9. I've completely lost track. It's been absolute chaos the last few days. But you join us, we're back out in the woods again at the crack of dawn, but me and my wife have already been up for a few hours. Both our sons are quite poorly, so we've been up since before 5 AM dealing with them. Whilst we were dealing with them, Mabel the puppy, can you say hello, Mabel? Do you want to say good morning? Caught you doing your business, Sully. You okay, Mabel? You gonna say good morning? But yeah, so while we were dealing with poorly babies and toddlers, the puppy decided to have some toilet accidents. So while we're cleaning up the toilet accidents, she then decided to chew things. It's all my fault. I wasn't paying enough attention. I wasn't offering close enough supervision. It's just comes with the territory of having puppies and babies and other dogs and stuff. So just to settle everything down, I brought the dogs out. We're gonna have a nice woodland adventure, really burn off some of this steam, because Mabel seems to have woke up quite energetic this morning. So we're gonna let her have a good run with Sully, burn off some of that energy. My wife's dealing with the boys, and we're gonna go back into routine as best as we can. So let's just enjoy some beautiful time out in nature.
First Noel, the angel did say, was to certain poor shepherds in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel.
Now Sully, my Labrador, is absolutely itching for me to let him go for a swim. And who am I, even in the middle of the winter, to deny a working Labrador the opportunity to go and retrieve something out of the water? So as much as I'm going to have to deal with the consequences of getting him dry and warm when we get home, I'm really interested to see how Mabel will react to watching a lunatic dive in off a riverbank after a stick. So let's have a little bit of fun, shall we? Try and tell me that isn't absolutely adorable, but like I say, the problem is I now need to get him home, but we have to walk all the way back through the woods to get there, which means he's going to get absolutely coated in mud, and then when we get back to my parents' house, that mud is potentially going to get everywhere. So there's going to be lots of towel duty for me when we get home. But let's enjoy the rest of this walk first, shall we? So that walk was absolutely amazing, but it was an extremely wet and muddy walk. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity for me to continue working on the separation anxiety work that I was working on. And if you saw yesterday's video, we left them in the kitchen on their own while we went to see Santa with our 2 young boys. And today we've put them in the kitchen just so that they can dry off a little bit, just so that they don't traipse mud throughout the entire house. It's been about an hour now. We had a little bit of crying when she first went in there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and discreetly go and have a look, and hopefully she's fast asleep and maybe even with Sully in a really cute way. So let's go and have a look. So fact, we need to be nice and sneaky, because as soon as I open this door, she'll know that I'm coming. But if we're nice and quiet... There's Sully. She's down there in that bed. I don't know if you can see her, but she's fast asleep down there. And obviously Sully he's still wet through. It's been ages, look how wet he is still. But she's so asleep. But she's so fast asleep she didn't even wake up, so absolutely brilliant. That really is, like I say, I keep talking about it, but separation anxiety is kind of the biggest thing that I'm really trying to preemptively nail. So while they're nice and settled in there, we're going to take this opportunity to put up some Christmas decorations. The living room and the back room. If you didn't know, by the way, and you're new here, I might as well introduce myself, but I'm Will, I'm a canine behaviourist, and this channel is all about me documenting raising my new Cane Corso puppy. So welcome if you're new here, maybe consider subscribing. But this weekend I'm house sitting and dog sitting for my parents, so we've got 4 dogs and we're looking after their house. But while they've gone away, we thought it'd be a nice surprise to put up some of their Christmas decorations for them, so it's nice and festive when they get back from their little trip away. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to have a bit of fun with the boys, put up the Christmas decorations, put up the tree, and then we'll probably go back to doing some more formal obedience work with the dog a little bit later on. Hello mate, you're starting to love it in there, aren't you? Is that your special place? First place you always go in when I let you in this room, isn't it? So, as is so often the case with life in general, plans changed. My oldest son, we started to notice he was getting a bit of a rash on his face, and throughout the day it was getting worse and worse. So we ended up calling the 111, which if you don't live in England is like the non-emergency NHS helpline where you can just ask them questions. We explained it to them. They ended up thinking or worrying that it might be scarlet fever and wanted us to go to an out-of-hours doctor, so we had to take him there. It didn't turn out to be anything serious and he's just got some cream. Worst case scenario, it might be a bit of impetigo, so nothing to worry about whatsoever. But the point being, again, plans changed and I had to end up leaving her in the kitchen for a bit longer than I would have liked to with Sully. And again, like I keep banging on about, doing a lot of preemptive separation work, so anytime that I have to leave her on her own and I'm not kind of prepared for it and planning ahead, I worry a little bit. But again, we did all that. We went to the doctors, we went to the pharmacy, got all his cream and stuff, dropped my wife off at her parents because we're spending the evening with the in-laws this evening. Got back and she was fast asleep on the bed in the kitchen. No wheeze, no poos, no nothing. Didn't even get up when I went into the kitchen. I had to carry her outside to go to the toilet. So brilliant. So what the point I want to make to you though is that this is why preemptive puppy training is so important, and it's not just about teaching a dog sit and toilet training and a bit of recall and a bit of heel work. You have to really take into consideration your breed. What are some of the common issues that your breed face? What are some of the common issues of the temperament of the certain dog that you've selected faced? Research and educate yourself about canine behaviour and about dog training and the wider world of dog training, and then setting yourself up to succeed, putting in that really hard work up front so that you can reap the rewards down the line. Don't wait until problem behaviours occur, and then it's much harder to unravel than putting the work in up front, and that's what we're doing with crate training. But when you get some success, it's equally as important to not just go, oh cool, well I'm there now, and give up on the work. You've got to keep putting that work in, keep reinforcing it, especially with puppies. People are often surprised at how quickly you can achieve things with puppies, then give up on putting the work in because, well, I've done that now, they work to heel nicely, the recall's perfect already. But what you'll find is that dogs go through different socialization periods where they'll go through multiple fear periods, and then when they go through their adolescent stage where they naturally will want to test boundaries and work out who they are as an adult dog, you'll find, oh, we're about to do a wee, hold on, I'm going to take her for a wee before she does it in the house, be right back. Oh, we're back, sorry about that. But yeah, I forgot exactly where I was, but I was talking about adolescent dogs and how they naturally test boundaries, so it's very common for them to regress in lots of different areas. So that's why you've got to make sure that you maintain these training programs and these procedures well until they're past their adolescent stage and into adulthood, and even then you should just carry on working on these things just because dogs tend to enjoy it by then and it's good bonding. But anyway, talking of that, I've come home to edit tonight's video before I go to the in-laws, so then I can just kind of relax for the evening and know I haven't got to rush home and get this video up. But why I've come home, I've got the crate and my setup and everything for my crate training conditioning program that I'm doing. Now as you can see here, like I say, I just showed you when we got here, she's going in and out of it herself, absolutely loves it, don't you mate? We're really starting to get somewhere with the crate training. But as if you didn't see on the canine show, I did a real breakdown of how I do crate training, but we're up to the 60-second interval of being left on her own in there for 60 seconds with her bone. Now, because I'm taking it so seriously, I only only have to achieve 3 successful attempts before I move on to the next time interval. But because I'm taking separation anxiety so seriously, you can see that I've been doing reps of 60 seconds. So we did 5 lots that day, and we're about to do 5 lots again today. Just like being at the gym, just repping it out, really repping it, cementing it, really setting her up for success and conditioning her that being in the crate is an awesome environment. And if you're in the crate and the door closes and I leave, it means it's amazing because you get to work on your bone. And speaking of which, yeah, these are the bones that she absolutely loves, these half hand bones. You can see she knows what it means. So she already gets excited when I get this out because she knows, you know what these are, don't you, buddy? You excited? Yeah, these are your favourite, aren't they? Let me get one out. I'm trying to do it one-handed, Mabel. But yeah, then you're sitting nicely now, aren't you? Your manners are absolutely impeccable already, little girl. Yes, we're going in there, aren't we? So I chuck it into the back of the crate. She happily goes in on her own. And then all I do now is I'm going to shut the crate. I'll show you, I'll go through it with you. So she's happily gone in of her own accord. We happily now shut the crate door. That's nice and locked. Light off. Close the door. And then I set a timer. And ideally, obviously I'm going to talk to you guys now, but ideally you'd, when I'm out here, I'm absolutely silent because what I'm starting to do is imitate me being out of the house. So it's complete silence in here and she gets to work on it. So I set a timer, 60 seconds. When that goes off, I go back in, I open the crate door, take it off her. Taking that bone off her in the right way as well is a really good bit of preemptive resource guarding work to make sure that we're not setting them up for any resource guarding and getting them to be respectful around food and people and letting them take bones and food off them as and when I want. I wouldn't recommend you doing that if you've already got a dog that's got a problem with resource guarding. There's a completely different fix for that. But if you've got a dog that isn't resource guarding, this is a really good exercise exercise just to maintain that and keep it going preemptively. So I'm going to kind of leave it here now so I can be silent, so she gets used to the idea of being on her own, and it being silent she conditions with being in the crate, and it's an excellent thing. So that literally couldn't have gone any better. 5 reps of perfect success, 60 seconds at a time, not a cry, not a whimper, not a bark, not a howl, complete silence, just really happy to be on her own in a crate working on a bone. So now we can move up to the next time increment, which will be 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, half an hour. Give it a few more weeks, a couple more months, and we'll be up to 3-4 hours at a time with a dog that's perfectly crate trained. So really, really happy that we're starting to get there now. It's been a few weeks and I'm really starting to see huge levels of success with things I was a little bit anxious about myself. So I hope that me being honest with you guys and kind of showing me working through my own anxieties, fears and difficulties, even as a canine professional, will give you hope that if you kind of just implement a plan from day one, problem solve as you go, try and be as preemptive as possible and put in the hard work, it does pay off, I promise you. So stick with it, don't give up, it's worth it, because I promise you, once they're grown up and you've got that perfect bond with a dog that's under control, that's a joy to take anywhere, there is nothing like it on the planet. That's why they're man's best friend. So I'm about to edit the video that you've just watched, so I hope you enjoyed what you've just seen, because I'm about to edit that now. So if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you are new here, please subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of Vlogmas.